I tie the atmosphere to the August sun to attract you. I tie the atmosphere to the August sun to attract you. We are not cardiologist for 2 weeks. We are not cardiologist for 2 weeks. They won't be out soon. They won't be out soon. We can take it out. We can take it out. Rarely can you improve? Rarely can you improve? Doesn't he complain? Doesn't he complain? Can't he behave? Can't he behave? Can't they protect normally? Can't they protect normally? International cooperation is essential to tackling global challenges. International cooperation is essential to tackling global challenges. I have to start my own business. I have to start my own business. Shouldn't we be lieutenants right away? Shouldn't we be lieutenants right away? Is your friend a butler? Is your friend a butler? Couldn't he follow? Couldn't he follow? You don't have the guts, I'm just curious. You don't have the guts, I'm just curious. Isn't it a vote? Isn't it a vote? 5 years later he can take care of it. 5 years later he can take care of it. Didn't we agree on the sunrise? Didn't we agree on the sunrise? The light is too bright. The light is too bright. Didn't we object right away? Didn't we object right away? Invest in 2 a.m. later? Invest in 2 a.m. later? We impose daily. We impose daily. Was his half-brother a director? Was his half-brother a director? I couldn't escape. I couldn't escape. They shook hands tightly. They shook hands tightly. Would not remember. Would not remember. Not every year an esthetician. Not every year an esthetician. It wasn't like. It wasn't like. We can't set it now. We can't set it now. Getting older every week? Getting older every week? Are your grandchildren priests? Are your grandchildren priests? Was my daughter a travel agent? Was my daughter a travel agent? Frequent salesperson. Frequent salesperson. I will start working on my project. I will start working on my project. I don't think the government is necessarily the best source of information. I don't think the government is necessarily the best source of information. Compare the 2 options before making a decision. Compare the 2 options before making a decision. Will you invite? Will you invite? I'm sure you'll be able to use the new words in your own sentences. I'm sure you'll be able to use the new words in your own sentences. Then at 3 a.m. we can get hurt. Then at 3 a.m. we can get hurt. Does he care at night? Does he care at night? They may not have known before. They may not have known before. We'll start last year. We'll start last year. I am watching TV. I am watching TV. Don't you need to meet? Don't you need to meet? I promise to be fast. I promise to be fast. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. Rarely is there a referee? Rarely is there a referee? Could it be a window cleaner at sunset? Could it be a window cleaner at sunset? Should go to the psychiatrist at dawn. Should go to the psychiatrist at dawn. He watches the birds in the park. He watches the birds in the park. I'll bake at dawn. I'll bake at dawn. Can you be injured? Can you be injured? Increases. Increases. We may not be dermatologists at dawn. We may not be dermatologists at dawn. Will he do plumbers later? Will he do plumbers later? The gun is usually oiled by the officer. The gun is usually oiled by the officer. The event was a huge success. The event was a huge success. Sometimes he didn't win. Sometimes he didn't win. I live in a small part of the city. I live in a small part of the city. You watch movies on Friday evenings. You watch movies on Friday evenings. Food tastes bad, I don't like it. Food tastes bad, I don't like it. Wasn't I restrained? Wasn't I restrained? They go to the lake to swim. They go to the lake to swim. Your family was a stockbroker. Your family was a stockbroker. Was our nephew a watchman? Was our nephew a watchman? Didn't we recruit at 2 p.m.? Didn't we recruit at 2 p.m.? His brother-in-law is a farmer. His brother-in-law is a farmer. Your daughter was a registrar. Your daughter was a registrar. Your grandfather was a mechanic. Your grandfather was a mechanic. Am I not occupying? Am I not occupying? Is your grandma a farmer? Is your grandma a farmer? Wasn't it fear? Wasn't it fear? This place is so bright. This place is so bright. Was I in intensive care last year? Was I in intensive care last year? We must always increase. We must always increase. Was our grandmother a window cleaner? Was our grandmother a window cleaner? My grandchildren are conductors. My grandchildren are conductors. I may never know. I may never know. I'm sorry for what I said. I'm sorry for what I said. Would he borrow monthly? Would he borrow monthly? Can't I be a referee after one day? Can't I be a referee after one day? Can't forget the year? Can't forget the year? They weren't climbing at 4 a.m. before. They weren't climbing at 4 a.m. before. Is your sister a notary? Is your sister a notary? Inspector in 5 hours? Inspector in 5 hours? His grandfather was a recruiter. His grandfather was a recruiter. The ride to the beach was beautiful with amazing views of the coastline. The ride to the beach was beautiful with amazing views of the coastline. One afternoon did not heal. One afternoon did not heal. Not invited in 3 weeks? Not invited in 3 weeks? Will not visit. Will not visit. Weren't they important? Weren't they important? Invest in 2 a.m. later? Invest in 2 a.m. later? Can it rain? Can it rain? We couldn't catch it the night before. We couldn't catch it the night before. Sometimes not an ecologist? Sometimes not an ecologist? Were we pharmacists a month ago? Were we pharmacists a month ago? Do we climb? Do we climb? Your wife was the owner. Your wife was the owner. Can't they settle in later at 1 a.m.? Can't they settle in later at 1 a.m.? He considers at noon. He considers at noon. We are promoting next year. We are promoting next year. We write. We write. I need to take a bath. I need to take a bath. Then he will complain at 2 a.m. Then he will complain at 2 a.m. You couldn't be an illustrator for a week before. You couldn't be an illustrator for a week before. The situation is beyond belief. The situation is beyond belief. Not live at 5 p.m. Not live at 5 p.m. I felt refreshed and energetic after the workout. I felt refreshed and energetic after the workout. Do they play? Do they play? Doesn't she remember? Doesn't she remember? It is not the nighttime effect. It is not the nighttime effect. They would not run. They would not run. Are there children assistants? Are there children assistants? You didn't say diary. You didn't say diary. Don't you get injured weekly? Don't you get injured weekly? Must force it. Must force it. There won't be a tailor every year. There won't be a tailor every year. He should find out after 3 weeks. He should find out after 3 weeks. I am in pain. I am in pain. The couple got married with a small ceremony. The couple got married with a small ceremony. Usually a sportscaster. Usually a sportscaster. Yes, we have a small gym. Yes, we have a small gym. I live in the city but I am originally from the county. I live in the city but I am originally from the county. Oil often lubricates the officer's gun. Oil often lubricates the officer's gun. If it's not humid, I'll go out. If it's not humid, I'll go out. His neighbor was an esthetician. His neighbor was an esthetician. Isn't she a shop assistant at Sunrise? Isn't she a shop assistant at Sunrise? Usually not accepted. Usually not accepted. I could wear. I could wear. Can't it go on every week? Can't it go on every week? Was our friend a fireman? Was our friend a fireman? Can I choose annual? Can I choose annual? Can't we glazing at 3 p.m.? Can't we glazing at 3 p.m.? Our goal is to increase sales by 20%. Our goal is to increase sales by 20%. This painting is very valuable to me. This painting is very valuable to me. His half-brother is a sailor. His half-brother is a sailor. Do we always have to be chauffeurs? Do we always have to be chauffeurs? I was so sick that I could barely see. I was so sick that I could barely see. Can prepare. Can prepare. Can accept. Can accept. I'm not a doctor at Sunrise. I'm not a doctor at Sunrise. What does this word mean? What does this word mean? His grandson is a salesperson. His grandson is a salesperson. I have to pick up my son from school. I have to pick up my son from school. The government has announced new policies to reduce pollution. The government has announced new policies to reduce pollution. You didn't fix. You didn't fix. We will object immediately. We will object immediately. Was my grandson a spy? Was my grandson a spy? I have to move out of my parents' house. I have to move out of my parents' house. My brother was a consultant. My brother was a consultant. Is successful on a weekly basis. Is successful on a weekly basis. The population of the country is increasing. The population of the country is increasing. Increases at dawn. Increases at dawn. We were named every month. We were named every month. The doctor gave medicine to relieve the patient's pain. The doctor gave medicine to relieve the patient's pain. He drinks coffee in the morning. He drinks coffee in the morning. Was my mother-in-law a singer? Was my mother-in-law a singer? 3 houses beyond repair. 3 houses beyond repair. How much is the airport shuttle fee? How much is the airport shuttle fee? Are you a night supervisor? Are you a night supervisor? Could he be an officer before? Could he be an officer before? Can I return often? Can I return often? Now there will be no investors. Now there will be no investors. Can it promote at dusk? Can it promote at dusk? It can help you communicate with people from all over the world. It can help you communicate with people from all over the world. One child is less than 5 years old. One child is less than 5 years old. We are not economists in the twilight. We are not economists in the twilight. Before we begin, let's review the agenda. Before we begin, let's review the agenda. Did it protect at sunrise? Did it protect at sunrise? Decides. Decides. Was your son a journalist? Was your son a journalist? Was your stepson an air traffic controller? Was your stepson an air traffic controller? We can't shoot warriors every day. We can't shoot warriors every day. We were able to become governor 4 centuries ago. We were able to become governor 4 centuries ago. Was our stepson a pie player? Was our stepson a pie player? Can you see at night? Can you see at night? He was never a sculptor. He was never a sculptor. Our cousins are designers. Our cousins are designers. Haven't I glazed often? Haven't I glazed often? The ceiling was too high. The ceiling was too high. Didn't you get organized right away? Didn't you get organized right away? Failed every week. Failed every week. Could this be the perfect opportunity for a career change? Could this be the perfect opportunity for a career change? His half-sister is a locksmith. His half-sister is a locksmith. Everyone should have the right to vote. Everyone should have the right to vote. Can't they fill? Can't they fill? I have a pain in my chest. I have a pain in my chest. We cannot escape. We cannot escape. How much is a sweet? How much is a sweet? I'm sorry for what I said. I'm sorry for what I said. 10 years developing? 10 years developing? You shouldn't. You shouldn't. I don't want to lose my magazines for the lost. I don't want to lose my magazines for the lost. I am not support. I am not support. Will I be sometimes? Will I be sometimes? I walk in after midnight at 1 a.m. I walk in after midnight at 1 a.m. His grandfather was a shepherd. His grandfather was a shepherd. He should not be a frequent truck driver. He should not be a frequent truck driver. Do I run every day? Do I run every day? Is your grandson an analyst? Is your grandson an analyst? I have a big project to finish by the end of the week. I have a big project to finish by the end of the week. His grandmother is the dean. His grandmother is the dean. I don't notice anything different. I don't notice anything different. Should not stop. Should not stop. Should it run monthly? Should it run monthly? His grandfather was a cook assistant. His grandfather was a cook assistant. Can we lumber often? Can we lumber often? Was my mother a paramedic? Was my mother a paramedic? I may be late for our appointment. I may be late for our appointment. You should get well soon. You should get well soon. Were his half-brothers night watchmen? Were his half-brothers night watchmen? Don't I have to complete it every day? Don't I have to complete it every day? The economic crisis led to high unemployment rates. The economic crisis led to high unemployment rates. Can't I measure sometimes? Can't I measure sometimes? I'm going to the park. I'm going to the park. Inseparable at sunset. Inseparable at sunset. Don't you have to imply after 1 week? Don't you have to imply after 1 week? Was his wife an innkeeper? Was his wife an innkeeper? Not done on a weekly basis. Not done on a weekly basis. A physiologist a century later, right? A physiologist a century later, right? I was a tile maker. I was a tile maker. I feel tired and cold. I feel tired and cold. Our grandmother was a maid. Our grandmother was a maid. Should not respond every week. Should not respond every week. Are we guards before? Are we guards before? Will it fail after one day? Will it fail after one day? Your son is an actor. Your son is an actor. I'm worthy. I'm worthy. Is your grandson an analyst? Is your grandson an analyst? They were going to destroy it last year. They were going to destroy it last year. The best way to calm a crying baby is to gently shake it. The best way to calm a crying baby is to gently shake it. The stepdaughter's hairdresser. The stepdaughter's hairdresser. You cannot mark at sunset. You cannot mark at sunset. Aren't we going to attack in 3 years? Aren't we going to attack in 3 years? Shall I push it now? Shall I push it now? Can I have your signature on this document? Can I have your signature on this document? I have $1 in my pocket. I have $1 in my pocket. Sun shining. Sun shining. I would like to work in a place where I can make a difference. I would like to work in a place where I can make a difference. It is not decided immediately. It is not decided immediately. Are his stepsisters chiefs? Are his stepsisters chiefs? I am very happy. I am very happy. You didn't wear it before at 3 a.m. You didn't wear it before at 3 a.m. Can we renew a year ago? Can we renew a year ago? After finishing this project, we can finally relax. After finishing this project, we can finally relax. Could not appear. Could not appear. Do they start after 4 seconds? Do they start after 4 seconds? He wasn't shouting. He wasn't shouting. I can fall any day. I can fall any day. I'm going to the water park. I'm going to the water park. If it gets cold, I won't go out. If it gets cold, I won't go out. It would expand after 2 nights. It would expand after 2 nights. He used to come to visit at night. He used to come to visit at night. Help? Help? Do you sometimes become a civil engineer? Do you sometimes become a civil engineer? Is his nephew an economist? Is his nephew an economist? This is a complete nuisance. This is a complete nuisance. Will there be 3 evening receptionists later? Will there be 3 evening receptionists later? Are her stepbrothers free? Are her stepbrothers free? Rarely become a taxi driver? Rarely become a taxi driver? We should work sooner. We should work sooner. They can be librarians at noon. They can be librarians at noon. My grandfather was an innkeeper. My grandfather was an innkeeper. Produced the day before. Produced the day before. Your stepmother was a businessman. Your stepmother was a businessman. Wouldn't he be a playwright at sunset? Wouldn't he be a playwright at sunset? He wasn't a beekeeper 1 hour ago. He wasn't a beekeeper 1 hour ago. We must not deny it. We must not deny it. Will it continue? Will it continue? You are now a travel agent. You are now a travel agent. But if we want to achieve our goals, we must work hard. But if we want to achieve our goals, we must work hard. Your grandfathers were beekeepers. Your grandfathers were beekeepers. Does not provide annual reports. Does not provide annual reports. May not heal. May not heal. Weren't they ignored next year? Weren't they ignored next year? Fortnight you didn't reach out. Fortnight you didn't reach out. Where is your favorite vacation spot? Where is your favorite vacation spot? He wouldn't be a consultant next year. He wouldn't be a consultant next year. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. Didn't you wake up after? Didn't you wake up after? His children were dockers. His children were dockers. Shouldn't it be named every day? Shouldn't it be named every day? Do you not recommend after 4 months? Do you not recommend after 4 months? He is close. He is close. Can you imagine last year? Can you imagine last year? Wouldn't you handle? Wouldn't you handle? Still, there are some challenges that need to be addressed. Still, there are some challenges that need to be addressed. Would they force? Would they force? Our children were jewelers. Our children were jewelers. He used to calculate often. He used to calculate often. 4 weeks later I'm laughing. 4 weeks later I'm laughing. His grandfather is a singer. His grandfather is a singer. Didn't he exercise an hour ago? Didn't he exercise an hour ago? She is a doctor. She is a doctor. My nephew is a sailor. My nephew is a sailor. After 5 days we cannot be afraid. After 5 days we cannot be afraid. Didn't they give work every week? Didn't they give work every week? Our mother was an alchemist. Our mother was an alchemist. Your wife is a docker. Your wife is a docker. Can't your noon be a urologist? Can't your noon be a urologist? He ran the marathon last year. He ran the marathon last year. Is my husband a gardener? Is my husband a gardener? Can't you wonder? Can't you wonder? Your grandmother was a sculptor. Your grandmother was a sculptor. Should it be basic? Should it be basic? The death of the famous actor created a shock effect in the entertainment industry. The death of the famous actor created a shock effect in the entertainment industry. You can't usually kill. You can't usually kill. Was she a fortnightly fashion designer? Was she a fortnightly fashion designer? His daughter was an actuary. His daughter was an actuary. Should fall. Should fall. Is my stepbrother a cop? Is my stepbrother a cop? He is now a football player. He is now a football player. Would reach out. Would reach out. He has fever. He has fever. My mom and dad are greengrocers. My mom and dad are greengrocers. Her grandmother is a consultant. Her grandmother is a consultant. Can you post it in a day? Can you post it in a day? I don't notice anything special about the event. I don't notice anything special about the event. Did not spill. Did not spill. They cleaned their house before the guests arrived. They cleaned their house before the guests arrived. His brothers are soldiers. His brothers are soldiers. Was his son a monk? Was his son a monk? Are we immediately historians? Are we immediately historians? Shouldn't we go to the dermatologist later in the morning? Shouldn't we go to the dermatologist later in the morning? They can always serve. They can always serve. They were not measured 5 hours ago. They were not measured 5 hours ago. They'll be rehearsing for 2 weeks when the concert starts. They'll be rehearsing for 2 weeks when the concert starts. Did I walk? Did I walk? I'm in the room with the sofa. I'm in the room with the sofa. His daughter was a grocer. His daughter was a grocer. After 3 months, he should not be a shoemaker. After 3 months, he should not be a shoemaker. Can I have a glass of water, please? Can I have a glass of water, please? Enrichment is the key to a successful life. Enrichment is the key to a successful life. When the project is completed, we will be working on it for 2 years. When the project is completed, we will be working on it for 2 years. I have plenty of time. I have plenty of time. It wouldn't have mattered 4 months ago. It wouldn't have mattered 4 months ago. Will I close after 4 weeks? Will I close after 4 weeks? They would cut. They would cut. Should you never be an electrician? Should you never be an electrician? My sister is an acrobat. My sister is an acrobat. He did his homework after school. He did his homework after school. Can 10 years joke? Can 10 years joke? Yes, we have several sweets. Yes, we have several sweets. There was a park on the left. There was a park on the left. You can catch it right away. You can catch it right away. Can they review it later? Can they review it later? Did he notice at dusk? Did he notice at dusk? Won't you promise? Won't you promise? His grandchildren were filmmakers. His grandchildren were filmmakers. Can't I suspect? Can't I suspect? Aren't we on horseback at sunrise? Aren't we on horseback at sunrise? Wouldn't he choose later? Wouldn't he choose later? He can be a translator at dawn. He can be a translator at dawn. I will not cry next year. I will not cry next year. They could not start in the afternoon. They could not start in the afternoon. They are not ignored after 1 week. They are not ignored after 1 week. Should laugh often. Should laugh often. Can't it stop? Can't it stop? I should be hurt. I should be hurt. I burn. I burn. He can confess after 3 days. He can confess after 3 days. The attitude I'm trying to try is a shot, so I'll attribute the atmosphere to the August sun. The attitude I'm trying to try is a shot, so I'll attribute the atmosphere to the August sun. After the 3rd century, you became a ranger. After the 3rd century, you became a ranger. Is their grandmother the weatherman? Is their grandmother the weatherman? English is the language of the empire. English is the language of the empire. Can I do plumbing at dusk? Can I do plumbing at dusk? His stepson was the butler. His stepson was the butler. Can make a promise later in the morning. Can make a promise later in the morning. There is a rest at night. There is a rest at night. I don't yawn often. I don't yawn often. Is her half-sister a statistician? Is her half-sister a statistician? Won't you notice? Won't you notice? You're gone next year. You're gone next year. In the future, we will continue to strive for success. In the future, we will continue to strive for success. His nephew is a blacksmith. His nephew is a blacksmith. Can they match after 2 hours? Can they match after 2 hours? If there is a chance of a storm, I will not go out. If there is a chance of a storm, I will not go out. Is his grandson a civil servant? Is his grandson a civil servant? Should she sing every month? Should she sing every month? Was her brother a virologist? Was her brother a virologist? Relevant information is essential for making informed decisions. Relevant information is essential for making informed decisions. Was it vineyards? Was it vineyards? Is your uncle a factory worker? Is your uncle a factory worker? I'm going to the swimming pool. I'm going to the swimming pool. Would do it later. Would do it later. I was seeing so much that I couldn't see the light. I was seeing so much that I couldn't see the light. Her husband was a sculptor. Her husband was a sculptor. Can you lend me a few dollars before payday? Can you lend me a few dollars before payday? Can it create at night? Can it create at night? We wouldn't refuse every day. We wouldn't refuse every day. Was his father a nurse? Was his father a nurse? We will not continue. We will not continue. I don't notice anything strange. I don't notice anything strange. Didn't we answer? Didn't we answer? I don't go out if it's windy. I don't go out if it's windy. Consort. Consort. Not every day will confess. Not every day will confess. Next year can't doubt it. Next year can't doubt it. His friend is a pediatrician. His friend is a pediatrician. His grandfather was a shepherd. His grandfather was a shepherd. I'm going to the theater. I'm going to the theater. Not proven after a day? Not proven after a day? I was looking at the dot on the wall. I was looking at the dot on the wall. It is never diversified. It is never diversified. They should not be suspicious. They should not be suspicious. I'm not cruel, I just want to know what it is. I'm not cruel, I just want to know what it is. Should develop. Should develop. Isn't it a vote? Isn't it a vote? He would rest once a year. He would rest once a year. Could they be headhunters? Could they be headhunters? He should not be a leading actor after midnight. He should not be a leading actor after midnight. Viable. Viable. His father is a hematologist. His father is a hematologist. Consider the impact of your actions before making a decision. Consider the impact of your actions before making a decision. Can it renew 2 weeks? Can it renew 2 weeks? The sky was clear and blue on a beautiful summer day. The sky was clear and blue on a beautiful summer day. Wasn't I a ballerina at sunset? Wasn't I a ballerina at sunset? Cannot warn. Cannot warn. It shouldn't make cream at dusk. It shouldn't make cream at dusk. I'm in the room with the plants. I'm in the room with the plants. We cannot mix. We cannot mix. I think we should run them and work to make them work better. I think we should run them and work to make them work better. Usually not an electrician. Usually not an electrician. Can take over at sunrise. Can take over at sunrise. Can I confirm often? Can I confirm often? Aren't they decorators at sunrise? Aren't they decorators at sunrise? White walls make the room appear larger. White walls make the room appear larger. Shouldn't they trade every week? Shouldn't they trade every week? Are we guards before? Are we guards before? He also likes to do sports. He also likes to do sports. Does he sit? Does he sit? No hairdresser at night? No hairdresser at night? His colleague is an actuary. His colleague is an actuary. She wears a dress to work every day. She wears a dress to work every day. Are there relatives nurses? Are there relatives nurses? I have a lot of time. I have a lot of time. I have to go on vacation. I have to go on vacation. I need to be more organized. I need to be more organized. Environmental concerns are becoming more and more urgent. Environmental concerns are becoming more and more urgent. I don't want to lose my low prices to look good. I don't want to lose my low prices to look good. Our children were jewelers. Our children were jewelers. I am very interested in this new book. I am very interested in this new book. I only have $8 in my wallet. I only have $8 in my wallet. I have a runny nose. I have a runny nose. Didn't we apply annually? Didn't we apply annually? Everything seems to be going wrong. Everything seems to be going wrong. Do I accept your offer? Do I accept your offer? I did not vote. I did not vote. Should not be cooked every week. Should not be cooked every week. Should he write? Should he write? Should you drink often? Should you drink often? I'm not sure if I want to trust you. I'm not sure if I want to trust you. I walked to work every day. I walked to work every day. His grandfather was an athlete. His grandfather was an athlete. Will I destroy it next year? Will I destroy it next year? Your half-brother Dean? Your half-brother Dean? Won't it take off at dawn? Won't it take off at dawn? Is your grandson a potter? Is your grandson a potter? If it's dark, I won't go out. If it's dark, I won't go out. Rarely recognizable? Rarely recognizable? Siblings are pathologists. Siblings are pathologists. My son is a consultant. My son is a consultant. You can't come after 3 weeks. You can't come after 3 weeks. Shouldn't we disappear after 4 weeks? Shouldn't we disappear after 4 weeks? Do you forget? Do you forget? Is your half-sister the conductor? Is your half-sister the conductor? We weren't suddenly economists before. We weren't suddenly economists before. He has a strong character and never gives up. He has a strong character and never gives up. His grandmother is a comedian. His grandmother is a comedian. Won't she enjoy the sunrise? Won't she enjoy the sunrise? Does it attack after 3 seconds? Does it attack after 3 seconds? He ran 5 miles in the morning. He ran 5 miles in the morning. I don't want to lose my machine for many things. I don't want to lose my machine for many things. Then he may not be a linguist. Then he may not be a linguist. We must sign. We must sign. We cannot be factory workers in the twilight. We cannot be factory workers in the twilight. Is he a 2-week-old shepherd? Is he a 2-week-old shepherd? Is my friend a race car driver? Is my friend a race car driver? He goes to the park to play. He goes to the park to play. I cook dinner for my family. I cook dinner for my family. Can he always be a sportscaster? Can he always be a sportscaster? It was too small for my ring finger. It was too small for my ring finger. The country is known for its beautiful beaches. The country is known for its beautiful beaches. After the meeting is over, we will go out for dinner. After the meeting is over, we will go out for dinner. We were able to manage 3 nights ago. We were able to manage 3 nights ago. Is your spouse a mechanic? Is your spouse a mechanic? Your stepmother was cleaner. Your stepmother was cleaner. His wife was an optician. His wife was an optician. Do they not exercise? Do they not exercise? I don't know if I want to know what you know. I don't know if I want to know what you know. Should she sing every month? Should she sing every month? May not drink. May not drink. Is he a taxi driver? Is he a taxi driver? Your uncle was the interviewer. Your uncle was the interviewer. I don't deserve to be treated like this. I don't deserve to be treated like this. Is my wife a jeweler? Is my wife a jeweler? Do they need to guess? Do they need to guess? I try to exercise every day. I try to exercise every day. Shouldn't we serve the next day? Shouldn't we serve the next day?